Oh, I gotta do that again. I will give inspiration to... It's cool. I will give inspiration to the person who can do that better than me. No, it's all good.
I am so sorry. I didn't realise. I thought I had it all set up. I'm sorry, Frox.
Hey, the fact that we're even doing this remotely is absolutely awesome. So it's
I'm on a
all good.
laptop in a hotel in Dublin, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually considering running it from my account and everything, but we didn't really arrange anything beforehand, so
yeah.
Don't you worry about it.
So, to recap the recap, we all had dreams. We're all mildly freaked out. Kubur thinks he spoke with God. Dog is concerned. Shit was on fire. Blueberry's gone. Jurnis has thoughts. The will they, won't they of Jurnis and Graz continues.
It's not a question. They will.
Let's see. Ang didn't have any visions, I don't think. Tahu slept soundly. Oh, Ang did?
Ang had visions that actually hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Totally paying attention. Anyway. I was too busy concerned that if the stream was working, I forgot to check if the sound... Anyway. My failure aside, let us continue.
Okay. So, we find ourselves in one of the... I can word. Wording is easy. We find ourselves in one of the main temples of the city proper. This is where several of the different religious groups have congregated with the Healers Guild, and they are currently dealing with some of basically the heads of state who survived. A different member of the plenum is in each of the rooms. Jurnis and Ang were the only ones allowed inside, considering they're the only ones who are technically watchers, or wardens rather. And they went to meet with Margot Penrose. Margot was fairly badly injured during the attack, but is alive, if unconscious. They were looking to get information from her, but unfortunately at the moment she is currently out cold. That having been said, we ended just as, over here, a tabaxi woman, a priestess, or rather a cleric, named Sister Namika from the Kalevig faith, was chatting to one of the other people in this hospital in the same room where Warden Reap, the head of the wardens, Arcanis Exaldir, Ludo, Ludo, and Corvo, characters that we have encountered before, were currently recuperating with several of the surviving Veril. And we will continue with that scene now. So, I would say at this point, Arcanis.
Yeah?
You have been out for a little while, slipping in and out of conscious a bit while Ludo and Corvo, I believe, have been, doing what little they can, helping out with, the injured and everything. You wake to hear this tabaxi woman and this dwarven priest have a brief conversation. Could you give me a perception check, considering they are whispering?
Okay. 1 second. That's perception.
First roll of the game, Sephi. It's yours. 16. Yeah, there you go. Okay. You basically hear words to the effect of, look, I'm sorry to trouble you and everything. I'm dealing with these mages upstairs, and they are being pretentious idiots. I mean, as far as I'm aware, they could just heal themselves and be out, but leader keeps insisting on like more supplies and everything, but they're entitled to this, that, and the other. Do you have any spare bandages or anything lying around? The dwarven priest, you're not familiar with this guy. He's currently looking around, trying to find something he can spare, because for the most part, everyone here is, aside from Reap, the head of the Wardens, is pretty much fine. Reap, however, is still in a fairly critical condition. After a minute or two, he's able to hand the stuff off, and she gives him a very grateful nod and starts to head out. So, is there anything that Ludo, Corvo, and Arcanus wish to be doing?
Icrius is just going to continue playing possum for the time being.
Okay. Give me a deception with advantage.
Okay, deception with advantage.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sorry for all my coughing. Sorry.
Oh, not a problem, my dear, not a problem. Yeah, okay. So, as far as anyone is aware, you are still out for the count. While that is going on, we will push our focus back outside. If Roll20 will behave. Yes. So, Chemise, Icarus, you two were having a conversation while Graz was busy keeping an eye on the dog. I believe, Tahu, at this point, you had just come back round as well, yeah?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Quit.
Quit.
So,
I don't know how you make it sound so adorable. Just quick.
anyway,
Wow.
as you guys are busy having your... Was there anything you two wanted to say to each other? I know Chemise, to, again, bring Sephi up to speed. Chemise was feeling a little bit exposed.
Yes.
All
And
these
she
people.
was, yes, too many people.
Yeah.
And she is keeping close to Sir Icarus and looking at him gratefully, and just, she flat out had said earlier, I just don't like being out in this crowd. It's too much, too many people. I'm not used to this. Well, maybe that's not true. I'm too used to it. Down in the mines, they packed us together in the dark. This is too much like that. I just want to be out of here.
I was about to suggest that we go around the corner and he just gestures round here. But if it's too packed in for you, then that won't do.
I just want to be away from all the people as soon as we can.
Well, as soon as our fellows are done with their business, we'll leave at the first chance we get. I'm afraid that unless we want to leave them behind, there's not much else we could do, my lady.
No, I want them with us. I saw them with us. I saw it. I saw us all together.
Very
down
well.
there.
By your will, my lady.
Such a gentleman.
Oh, yes.
Graz, would Graz please give me a perception check?
She will.
Yep,
as
I'm gonna-
soon as I open her character sheet. Perception?
Perception, please. 11. Okay. Yeah, that's just about enough. You notice, well, rather, Graz notices that round about this area here, there's starting to be a little bit of a commotion, or at least more so, as several people are starting to be pushed out of the way. Let's put you on this layer. As a very familiar-looking bugbear. Where are you? There you go. Boop. Is starting to make his way through the crowd, pushing people aside. You notice she notices the guards. One of them moves forward to try and push him back. The other one's like, gives the universal nope motion, and he just breezes past. Would Graz like to give me a... Here's the question. Does Graz want to be noticed by Matthias or
Oh,
not?
God, no.
A stealth check, if you please.
Okay. Stealth check for Graz.
Like a phantom in the night. Matthias barely even stops to address the Black Hand guards as he and his little retinue head in. So just before that happens, Jurnis and Ang, was there anything you wanted to do before you left Margot and her crew? I believe you're trying to lynx her associate, the hobgoblin woman in the business suit.
I'm
If
pretty
I remember
sure
right.
she hinted that we should get out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were pretty much done, seeing as, well, our boss is not available at the moment.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bless you. All right, then. So, are you guys heading out then?
Yep.
Okay. So, let me just get Specky. Where you go, Specky? Let's just get Specky in the corridor here. There we are. So, as you guys are heading out, you all but bump into this small retinue of goblins. Now, refresh my memory. It has been a year. Ang was with the group when you first met Matthias in Grimscar.
Yes.
Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Okay. So you basically all but bump into a couple of familiar goblins and their bugbear employer, Mr. Matthias Hill. Oh. Well, this is a small world, isn't it? I just came to pay my respects to my good friend, Margot. And it appears you beat me to it. And I am just going to drag both of you there. Oh my gosh, roll 20. Why you freeze now of all things? Boop. There we go. So, you guys are in the hallway. Basically, you have this large towering bugbear. The familiar visage of one of his goblin aides. You don't quite remember what their name is, but you have seen them before. And a few others that are clearly with him. What do you do?
Well, I mean, now's not the time to do anything rash. Say, after what he said, I'm just going to say, well, apparently not small enough. But yes, we had come to check on Margot, make sure she's all right.
And how is she?
Covering.
For the moment.
Has she said anything? Has she spoken to anybody?
Not that we've been told, no.
I'd like both of you to give me a insight check, please.
Insight. I can do that.
Insight. There we go.
No, I can't because I don't have the thing here. It's +2. Hang on. There.
Okay. Ang, he's a big guy. This is one of the few bugbears, because bugbears, they kind of have that whole thing about they're fairly hairy. This is the first time you've ever seen a bald, shaved bugbear. It's intimidating, and you're not sure why. You'd think it'd be ridiculous, but it's like, he's big, he's right in front of you. You know that as quick as you are, if he wanted, your head could go inside that wall. And that's really distracting. Jurnis, on the other hand, with that, you notice there's genuine concern. He looks worried, and you'd assume worried about Margot.
Well, we do know that they're friends.
Frenemies, at least.
She should be all right, given enough time to rest. Companions are keeping a close eye.
I would prefer to see for myself. However, are you sure she is being taken care of?
Yes, the
So
sister
good to
is looking after her. And she's got her own entourage looking after her as well.
Persuasion from both of you, please.
Thank you, 1 second.
From both of us?
From both of you, yes. You can either, one of you can choose to have advantage, or you can both roll your own. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
she of the silver tongue.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I helped.
All my little awkward confrontations are just being flipping brushed aside with this flipping bard here. I don't know.
Bard.
The 12 is actually good too. So.
It's shake and bake. And I helped.
I love that gif. I love that gif so much. But anyway, on top. So Matthias is sort of like looking over your shoulder, kind of trying to look into the room. You see he's thinking about just politely but firmly pushing you past, but he thinks better of it. I wonder if I might trouble you for a few moments of your time somewhere more private. I have a few things I need to discuss with Margot when she wakes, but I think in the meantime we need to have a little conversation.
Of course.
You trying to do a southern accent?
Ouch. Is he trying to do a southern accent? You wound me.
Oh, honey, don't you know how to do the southern accent?
No,
Bless your heart.
Southern accent is always fun to do.
He's I would say this. He's from a few different places. He's got a very weird mixed up accent. How's that?
I was gonna say it sounds like what's the actor's name? The guy from House of Cards.
Oh, I only saw the British original, I'm afraid. I never saw the American remake, but I wanted to.
Kevin Spacey?
It's on my list.
Yes. Kevin Spacey.
Oh, okay. But anyway,
it's got that kind of charming southern accent.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. You know,
Such
it's not
acting
deep
talent
south.
gifted to an utter asshole.
Yeah, tell me about it. Anyway, the contract. So, Matthias looks around, sort of nods to himself, and he actually politely leans just past you, Jurnis, and taps on the side of the door. After a moment, it reopens, and you see Lynx poke her head back out, and she's able to hold it together fairly well, but the fact that a rival cartel leader with a bunch of his guys is right outside the door is a bit of a concern. Matthias basically passes on his well wishes to Margot. One of his associates hands over a small box, which Lynx takes very gingerly. You can tell she's not too sure if it's a bomb or not. And he gives her a nod, and then he starts to step outside. And after a moment, he sort of like just looks over his shoulder and says, "I'll be right outside." And that is that. I would say you do actually, as soon as he's out of eyeshot, you do see Lynx like panically pass the box over to someone else who goes right to the other end of the building and very gingerly checks it for traps. So, is there anything you two wish to do while you are still in this building?
I mean, Ang's gonna lurk. That's all, folks.
Pretty much. We checked on who we wanted to check on, and I assume this door is closed, so we can't see in there.
I would say you could, for the sake of fairness, there is a window. You do notice that there's one of the Black Hand guards posted on either entrance. And you can look through, and you probably do recognize Sister Nardoon, one of the dwarven priests that you spoke to in the past. Actually, yeah, give me... Ang wouldn't know him, but Jurnis, give me a perception check.
Yeah, I was going to say that I need to roll to see K.
Yeah.
Nope.
He's lying down on the bench. All you see are a pair of boots. They could belong to anybody.
Perhaps we'd better get out of the healer's way, Zhang.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
And
Let them
I'm
do their jobs and
genuinely,
hopefully try to. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm genuinely curious as to what Matthias has to say, but I feel like we should get Works if we want to talk to him.
Yes, we should.
But he's right over there, so I don't know if we'll have that opportunity. Well, brave face. She's like, pat Ang in the stomach.
I see. All right, I'm a monk. I don't have any spells. Suddenly, Ang reaches into the future, pulls out 2 cell phones, and teleports one to Wex.
I don't think Jurnis
meanwhile-
knows sending. No, she does not.
Yeah, I think you need to be 5th level before you get access to that kind of magic.
Yes. I do, however, have a spell that will blow people up.
Oh, tut. Jurnis doesn't even have Animal Messenger.
Now, rascal. So, heading up over here for a moment or two. Let's see. Yes, I would say you're able to do that. Is there anything that Arcanist... I actually do not have a token for that, I'm afraid. So...
That's a fair name.
What?
Arcanist, I don't have a token, that's a name.
Yeah.
Icrius is going to do what she said she's going to do. What I said she does. She transforms into her wolf form and quietly slips her way out into the corridor.
Oh yeah, sure, give that paranoid goblin something else to worry about. First a bird, now a wolf.
Well, you've already got one dog, so you're getting a bit of a menagerie. And mild spoiler alert, just wait until you see what Chemise can do at the next level.
Oh no.
Icrius is going to head downstairs and make her way.
Okay. Make your way downstairs. Okay, so let me just grab your tokens. And we're going to drag you because Roll20 is not a broken mess and will do what I tell it to do first time. And boop! You are downstairs.
I wonder what Cordo went into the party. I'm not sure how.
Okay.
And of course, you see many potatoes around you. Sometimes they appear, sometimes they disappear. You've been around here for 400 years. You know not to question potato.
Oh yeah, spuds everywhere. The fact of life.
Canonically, in the Dice&Dolts universe, the only person who can see the potato is the player characters and Odie.
Could Terry
Refresh
see the
my-
potato?
No.
Aww.
Is going to very quickly. Icrius is going to very quickly look into this room, just being
Aw.
innocent, like an innocent passing dog.
First of all, give me a perception check. An 18. Okay. As you look into this room, you've been around long enough to know who the Agressari are. They're basically the anti-wife beater religion, which is what most people know them as. They're currently working on, clearing the place up. It looks like they've been tending to most of the sick people who were in here. At the moment now, it is literally just them, one of the Black Hand, and a bunch of goblins that you would recognize as members of the Fermenter cartel.
Mm-hmm.
They are basically tied to an individual you know as Margot Penrose. She's one of the leaders on the plenum, the only goblin who's on the city council. And she, I would say with an 18, she does appear to be knocked out at the moment. You would also recognize her secretary, an elven woman, red hair, by the name of Hilda. Now, give me a deception check, because what the heck is a wolf doing in a hospital?
Emotional support dog, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. The door is... You know? Yeah.
This is my emotional support dolphin.
That's a whole other type of thing there. Anyway, you notice this hobgoblin woman in a business suit, like a buzz cut. She's busy focused on this package over here. One of her associates is giving her a thumbs up. And as she's about to close the door, she turns around and spots you. And she's like, oh my gosh, you are adorable. Miss Rona, hey girl, hey. And you are getting many, many pets from this hobgoblin woman.
Yeah. Icrius is just playing along. But
Just
decided to head towards the entranceway.
okay. Give me a performance.
1 second.
There is a reason for this. Okay, with a performance that high, you do see the hobgoblin, the woman, almost step out to follow. It's like, oh no, wait, no, come on, no, it's scary out there. No, I've got food.
Because she just keeps.
Oh,
Yeah, she just kind of keeps going, kind of makes her way past the others.
I would say. After you.
She's going to find somewhere to stand nearby so she can basically watch, but not seem like she's watching, basically.
All right. Just for the sake of flavour, as you're leaving her, you hear the hobgoblin woman, sound really disappointed and make to go after you. But then you hear a call from inside the room she was in, and she's like, "Oh, yes, I'm working," and she's going to head back in there. So, the scene that you see outside Arcanus is fairly loud, raucous. There we go. Yeah, the general tone of the city does seem to be one of, tension and concern. People outside are getting a little bit, angry. The guards are trying to hold them back as best they can, along with the other acolytes of, the various faiths inside the temple. I would say you know who Matthias Hill is. If you know who Margot is, you know who Matthias is. Most of the cartel leaders are pretty well known. He's currently waiting outside for two individuals that you have seen before. You were there at their trial a couple of days ago. There's a tabaxi that is one of the wardens named Ang. You also notice the tiefling, who's a newcomer to the city, Jurnis Spring Singer or something. You don't
Away from the
recognize.
keyboard for a minute. I'm sorry, guys. Just letting you know.
Not a problem, my dear. Not a problem. You do recognize. You don't seem to recognize anyone else from this group for the moment, but it looks like Matthias is standing expectantly, waiting for them. So, what do you do, Arcanus?
She's just going to stay where she's and observe.
Okay. So, Jurnis, Ang, Mr. Hill, or Matthias as you know him, looks up as you head out. Oh, good. So, are we ready to go?
Well, that depends on where it is you would like to go to have our conversation.
Oh, somewhere very comfortable. Home. I'm afraid someone like me is not very welcome up here. It's very rare that I'm topside. But for a friend like Margot, I wanted to make the effort.
Well, to be fair, Matthias, the last time you offered me a comfortable place to wait, you put me in a meat locker.
You know, that is true. And may I say, my dear, I do apologize for the rudeness. You understand I was in a particular situation, and you are a untested individual. Have no fear, my dear. The quality of your character has been absolutely assured. And he actually takes your hand in his and gives you a polite bow and a kiss on the hand.
Well, a rather elaborate apology. It would be rude of me not to accept.
It would. So, this way. And he starts heading out of the area with your hand in his.
Ang,
What
do
are the rest of
round
y'all
up the
doing?
others and they can follow us. We'll have our
Others?
conversation in private. They can hang back.
Will do.
Which others are you referring to?
Companions, or rather future employers.
Player,
They don't
player,
need
didn't
to
we
be
have?
privy to the conversation, but we will need to meet up with them afterward.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't we have business down in Grimscar for them?
They want to go into the wilds, I think.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he looks a little wary for a moment. Well, as I said, you two, fine. Other people can wait outside. Are you sure you trust them with knowing where you're going?
Jurnis doesn't trust Icrius as far as you can throw him.
Shame! Shame! What a shame!
Oh no. That is a good point. What do you think, Ang?
Well, perhaps we could have them wait at the tavern down there. Go
Oh,
and
the
pick up.
shattered shield, the silver shield, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of, where's little Wex?
He had other matters to attend to. Nothing serious.
Which were? He still has your hand in his, by the way.
Remind me, he knew that Rex was trying to get his daughter back, right?
Yes.
Let's just say his home won't be as empty as it was before.
Oh, that is good to hear. Family is so important. I had heard a little rumor that His family's indentured servitude had come to an unexpected but very welcome end.
Oh, so I heard.
Good.
That's why he's going to make preparations.
There.
I could send Tahu to gather him.
Does Tahu know where Wex lives? Or are we
Could
just
tell
assuming
him.
that Wex will be down talking to his mother?
Now, did you say that out loud in front of Matthias?
No. That was above game.
Okay.
I mean, Aang could. I'm sure Aang has a map, and Aang could point out where Wex lives.
What do you
Very
think, Tahu?
well.
Are you comfortable with that?
I hope.
So to
Tahu?
clarify, you guys were actually asking Tahu who is right there. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You notice that Matthias actually hadn't noticed this Kenku lurking in the corner, and there is a slight tension and a slight flex of the muscles. I won't say you take a point of damage from your hand, Jurnis, but he is holding on it very tightly for a moment. It's like, my apologies. And he's staring very intently at the Kenku. This is one of your new associates. Is that correct?
For the time
Yes, that is
being.
correct. Yes.
Delightful. He takes a step back and he nods to you. Let me know when you are ready. And him and his cohorts are going to... Whoops, sorry, Arcanus. Going to
We shan't
take a
be
step
long,
or two
Matthias.
back. Okay. So for the sake of argument, he is now slightly out of earshot, but he has got his eye on you.
All
She's just going
right.
to just give him a little smile and just out of the side of her mouth to Aang. Oh, he terrifies me. All right.
Now,
Icrius, Chemise, a moment.
Can we actually hear her call from where we are?
Well, you're like
I would
20 feet
say...
away.
Yeah.
Depends on how
fairly
loud
noisy.
you want to be.
Yeah. I would say, given the fact that they're blocking up the entrance with this large group of goblins that a lot of people are
Let's
staring at a little bit
Step
warily.
over here. Out of the way.
Are you quite all right, Miss Springsinger? I saw the way the balding bugbear grabbed you. It didn't look consensual at all.
I know who he is, don't worry about it. Let's just say he's...
That's why I didn't obey my first instinct and pull him off you.
To be fair, that would be a good way to end up with your head pulled from your shoulders. But
That's
anyway,
what I figured.
Don't sell
Matthias
yourself
is
short,
a
Sir Icarus.
Matthias is an associate of ours, and he wishes to have a private conversation with Aang and myself. So we're trying to arrange where you could meet up with us later. We could either return to the Tardy Tyro, or come with us down to Grimscar, and you can rest in a tavern down there.
Sorry, the
I don't know
player
about
is
you.
thinking.
Well, actually, is it okay if Chemise says something then?
Yeah, go for it.
She turns and looks and says, I want to keep us in as... She says, I don't know about you, but I want to keep us in as close together as possible.
Yes. Then perhaps down to the Grimscar that shall be.
If you agree, Sir Icarus.
Whatever you feels best, my lady.
Then
I
I
would
believe
say
that
for
seems to be the best course of action. In regards to Wex, Tahu, would you be comfortable fetching him and bringing him to the tavern?
Who? Other associate, Lex, I believe he went back to his home.
The little green man with the mask.
Yes,
Master Skullface.
Yes.
or a goblin, my close associate. And at this point, Aang would pull out. I'm assuming Aang has a map of the city.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Aang pulls out the map and points to where Lex's home is.
Tahu, they point to one of the business districts. It's not the like super elite high street or anything, but
I see the map.
it's one of the more common area ones, and it's a pretty nice area. You know, there's a lot of different storefronts there.
Can I see on the actual map?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I was going to say it doesn't matter that much, but yeah, sure. Let me bring it up on the map, and I said, let me bring it up on the map. Okay, so
we're red dot.
you guys are here, the Verdenstadt district. The place that you're going to is round about here.
And then after we're going
After you're going, it's going to. Now, here's the thing: you are going to be heading down to Grimscar. Grimscar is the other town that's basically located down here.
So they
Is at
want
the
me to
bottom
go
of
get
the
him
sinkhole.
and
Yeah.
go to the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, he'll know where to go.
Yeah.
So Dennis,
Yes, sir.
Icarus also sees this map.
Yes. In fact, tell you what, just give the DM one moment and he'll try and give you a full map of the city.
Because what I and Icky would like to know is if it shows businesses on it. Because there's a couple of places Icky would like to go on the way. You know why.
Say, I think I do, yes. So, for the sake of argument, even though it doesn't really have it on this version of the map, where you guys are at the moment, I also need to move some tokens around. Bear with me, thank you. Okay, so you guys around here, boop, boop, boop. So I would say that round about this area here between like the Red Quarter and the Royal Quarter, yeah, I'd say a good chunk of this part of the Red Quarter are various like businesses, shops, retailers, artificers, and everything. Royal Quarter is more the entertainment district, things like theatres, museums, that kind of thing. Over here, Verdenstadt is more the fancy elite sort of places. The Silent Charter, the Healers Guild, wherever you are. Over here would be things that are more everyday use, things like the tavern, that kind of thing. And of course, over here is places like Blue Gold, which is where the August Sanctum have their base of operations. So you will be able to. It's not every single business isn't like labeled on the map, but that's the general information that you would easily be able to pick up.
Okay.
And the wilds, just for the sake of argument, this section down here is the broken, ruined remains of the city, which have not yet been retaken. It is completely walled off by the large wooden skyscraper structure of the Veril Quarter to the north, and by the barricades of Grimscar to the south. The town where Matthias and most of his goblin associates are from is this section here, at the bottom of the sinkhole. That is where he intends to take you. He is very far from his territory.
Understandable why he's so nervous. Jurnis is going to turn to the Kenku. Tahu, whenever you brought us a message, you were able to repeat something word for word. Could you do that for me?
Correct.
Excellent. Do I just speak and then you repeat it? Is that how it works?
Correct.
You boop him on the beak, and then he records, and then boop again to stop recording.
Canon.
Boops are an universal canon for how to do magic. Booping is magic.
Right. Well, when you find Scarface, essentially just tell him that Matthias wants to have a word with us regarding the recent events. He's taking us down to Grimscar, and could you get Rex to meet us at his mother's tavern? The Paladin and our future employer, and probably the dog, will be waiting there for him. Is that all right?
Correct.
Perfect. Well then, shall we be on?
Okay.
Yes, let's
Anyone
go. And
have... I'm so sorry, Icy, after you.
no, that is it's silly.
No, please. We're all in the mood for silly.
Just the
Message
I thought
deleted.
of
Oh shit, I pushed the wrong beak. I pushed the wrong side of the beak.
Again,
just a video for all to watch.
Yeah, feel free to share it in the chat. And I would say as well, if Cream's okay with that, I would like when Skullface does get the message for all that extra stuff to be in there as well. So
Jurnis technically already did confirm, like, is that good? And I said, yeah. So technically it's not.
okay, so
Thank you, Tahu.
Oh, sorry.
So Icrius is basically you're going to try and follow them.
Okay.
Jurnis,
in that case, yeah. All right then. So while Tahu is heading up towards the Red Quarter to find a tavern, find the business of Mr. Wex Greenstride. I would like everybody else who is following Mr. Matthias and his associates. I would like everybody to give me Okay, this is how we're going to do it. First of all, Icrius, give me a stealth check in your wolf form.
Oh.
That's a 20. Okay. I want everybody to give me... Does anybody have a passive perception over 20? I assume not.
We don't have a druid with us, so no.
Yeah, I'm not playing a druid, so I don't have a passive perception over 20.
I'm sending you a message, by the way, though.
Certainly.
Although that being said, my druid in the other campaign actually has a passive perception of like 24.
See, druids are wacky.
Yes, they are.
Tune with nature.
And my druid doesn't have proficiency in nature. I fucked that up somehow at character creation. I don't know how. I don't have proficiency in nature as a druid.
These things happen. There is... Let me just see. I'm just trying to find a particular stat block a second. I'm actually looking for the for an answer to your question, D. But while that's going on, Dog, I would like Dog to give me an active perception check with advantage because you are a dog, and there might be something following you.
Okay.
Okay, a 22. Okay.
Hello, yes, this is Dog.
Yeah. Dog meet dog. Dog, this is Dog. You you guys are heading down the road. The people you're following have met a bunch of new people. Some of them green, some of them brown, some of them very, very big. And as you are trying to deal with all these new smells, there is a smell that keeps lingering. And you look around and you see a little bit away, there's this unusual wolf that seems to be following you. What do you do?
Oh. How close is it to me?
That's a very good question. How close are you, Arcanis?
I would say not close enough to draw attention, but close enough to keep an eye on them.
So about, say, at least 6 to 12 feet?
Call it about 15.
Okay, around about 15 then.
Okay, give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's been doing this shit for 400 years.
Just because you've been doing something a long time doesn't mean you're good at it.
Trust me, as an artist, that's how I feel every day.
I just heard Zbornak say sometimes it does.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I was going to say while I was looking for something else. If not to metagame or anything, but the idea of playing Curse of Strahd without Zbornak and the tree teleportation and her fuzzy assholes, yeah, that genuinely terrifies me. Anyway, Dog, are you doing anything?
Yeah, so I think once the smell hits my nose, I'm gonna stop and kind of like sniff the air and look towards it, the general direction where it's coming from, and I'm gonna start barking.
Okay. As you guys are being led by Matthias, you suddenly realize your dog companion is barking. You turn, you look, and a little ways down the road there seems to be a wolf dog following you.
Wasn't that canine outside the temple?
I don't know. I don't often pay attention to many dogs.
I didn't notice.
Well, I had a lot of time doing nothing. It stuck out like a sore thumb. Amazed it wandered out without anyone paying attention to it, honestly.
Could Aang and Jurnis... I know it's but roll perception checks to see if they did notice.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, you probably have to roll pretty low. I'd say you get advantage with it because you would have noticed it going past you.
Chemise turns and looks and casts...
Jurnis was preoccupied by the attempted kidnapping by a bugbear.
Chemise narrows her eyes and concentrates and just looks sidelong at the thing, the wolf. Then she shakes her head and says, I don't recognize it.
I did see it back at the temple, but looks like just a dog.
Icrius slowly pokes her.
Arcanis slowly pokes her what?
Yeah, what, huh?
Slowly pokes her.
Oh no!
Zach, you're going through a tunnel.
Sorry. Icrius slowly pokes her tongue out.
Oh, he's doing a blep.
That is
When a
mildly
dog does it, it's a
adorable.
block.
Yeah. She's blepping innocently.
Give me a performance.
Are you making a friend, dog? Jurnis like crouch down and give dog a scritch behind the ears. You know that kind of thing where the owner's like getting ready to hold the dog in case it goes for another one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, as a dog owner, I know this very well. I would say that with that 7, Arcanis, it's more a case of everybody else looking at the dog. And by the way, at this point, you notice like Matthias has kind of stopped a little ways, like looks over his shoulder, is like, the fuck are they doing? This dog looks basically, the best way to describe it is the dog kind of stopped, looked a little bit like, and then it just went bleh. You know, it's very obviously trying to be cute, which is not something dogs usually do.
I know what to do.
I mean, you're more than welcome, D.
Yes, and so I'm going to. You see Chemise reach up, cup her hands together, and blow sand that wasn't there a second ago. And she does that, and I'm sending what it is.
Yeah, I shall bring my
Okay.
Boy, I hope Chemise is good at hiding this.
So, I was
Yeah, no,
about
she
to say that.
she didn't hide it at all.
I know!
Okay. So a few things happen at once. I would say, Arcanis, as you are trying and potentially failing to do the cute dog act, literally in front of you, forming out of this sand and shadow, this gigantic black shape in the basically like a giant cat, evil glowing eyes, huge teeth, appears right in front of you. With your intelligence check, I believe that means that if Chemise wishes, or technically that thing's going to attack you now, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Bless you.
But it's not going to try to kill. It's just going to scare.
Okay.
It's basically being threatening, like, go away.
Yeah. Phantasm, similarly, phantasm, each round on turn, the phantasm can deal, so it doesn't automatically deal it.
No.
So
no,
it's not attacking
just
yet.
it's being a threat, like, stop following this path. Go back.
Okay. Arcanis, the fuck do you do?
She just starts growling.
Okay. I would say
The cat hisses back.
By the way, nobody else sees this. From everybody else's point of view, the dog went from trying to blep to suddenly growling. Everybody, however, did see Chemise do that, and there is a clump, clump, clump sound before Matthias, the large bugbear, is towering over you, Chemise, and in a low voice says, I appreciate the effort, but there are other ways of dealing with pests that don't attract as much attention. If we could leave now.
Yes, and Chemise is moving along with all the others. She says, of course. I want to expedite that.
He's not listening. He's already down the road.
Yeah. We'll say as
massive stink eye from Chemise.
Jurnis is after making sure that dog is following after us. Jurnis is going to take Chemise by the elbow, just basically say, "Listen, there's a sort of magical police force here called the Sirens Charter. They don't like it when people go around casting magic in the street. I suppose I should have warned you before."
Speaking of magic, DM.
Yeah.
Is Arcanis still in sight? Have we not? Have we gone too far away?
Arcanis, I believe you've only taken a couple of steps and all that. And before we get too far ahead, I noticed Dog. Was there something Dog wanted to do in regards to all this that's going on?
No, I would say maybe he just does like what Maggie does when she sees something and just keeps like looking over his shoulder. as he
Yeah,
walks. But,
yeah,
but,
yeah,
But he's going.
yeah. Okay.
He's going.
So, yeah, Icarus casts Hunter's Mark on Arcanus. In Celestial, of course. The purpose of this is because a lot of people seem to forget that Hunter's Mark is good for hunting. It gives you advantage on perception and survival checks to track things. So basically, the idea is I want to keep an eye on this friggin' wolf.
Can I just say, I love the fact that we've got a paladin who takes a spell like that. That is just... that's impressive.
That comes with being an Oath of Vengeance paladin, my friend.
Nice. That is very nice.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, for those of you who've already been through this particular trek, this is nothing new. The rest of you, however, you are led up to one of the large, basically the huge black obsidian walls that encircle the city. As you are let into one of the guardhouses, you realise that the walls are fairly thick and hollow on the inside. There are several corridors, several layers of guards, and various people moving around inside. There are a few checkpoints, all of which are pretty much waved through immediately, given the fact that you're following a very large bugbear. And you find yourselves on top of the wall and using it as the next leg of your journey as you head down underneath the overarching wooden skyscraper of the Devillo Quarter. Now, while all this is going on, I think we're going to very briefly go over to the Royal Quarter and to the Greenstride House. So bear with me.
I'm just going to say, Icrius is going to try and keep following them.
Okay.
Good.
It'll be really difficult when we get to the big lift.
And of course, when Chemise stops concentrating and turns around, the evil cat vanishes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So bear with me a moment, because none of you guys are here.
I would have appreciated a heads up about that, she says to herself, out loud.
I love how he just assumed that we would have invited Icarus and Chemise here at some point.
I know. It's just 1 second.
It would be nice if one day we could be friends.
Yeah.
Why can't we be friends? Okay,
yeah, we had to volunteer ourselves to come along.
He knows why.
Ah, yes, I exist.
So, Ang? Sorry, Tahu.
Yeah.
You make your way through these streets. It takes you a little bit of time, but you find the area that you're looking for. It's a fairly decent-looking storefront. The front of it is actually closed up. It doesn't look like anybody's really been through the front in a long time. However, as you make your way around the back, the small alley seems a lot more well-traveled, and you see the back door, while locked, is clean, readily used. You notice a little bit of smoke coming up from the chimney and everything. What do you do?
Where am I? Am I in the alley? This doesn't look like...
Yeah. Oh,
confused.
basically you're in... What you are is, you see that door there? That's that leads to the alley. This is basically a small, self-contained back garden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, us British people, we don't really have, big gardens for the most part. This is that sort of industrial area type thing. So this is just a little backyard.
I guess I would start by knocking on the door.
Okay. So while he's outside, we're going to move our camera back over here. Wex,
Yep.
So you spent a little bit of time working on, pulling everything together for the family to return. And this morning, despite the lockdown, fortunately their new employer, Lady Fabrider, was able to help them basically get back into the city. Your brothers and sister and your daughter, Landa, are all currently in the kitchen enjoying a very nice hearty meal. Just have some, there we go, some nice music there. Libby's currently working at the stove. Actually, Libby is kind of wrestling with Grin. Both of them are kind of trying to take turns. It's like, no, no. This is my job. I'm paid to do this. No. Tegan and Vega are just, laughing, throwing shit at each other, just enjoying the ambience, being away from the house for a bit. Yaz is currently lurking around in, the storeroom, seeing what kind of vegetables and plants. They've been regaling you with a couple of stories, working for the Fabriders, what a bunch of assholes they were. But in spite of that, they actually really enjoyed working at the manor. And definitely Tegan and Yaz want to return. Vega's a little undecided, but... Grin is glad to be back home. And of course, you've been spending as much time as you can with your daughter, Landa.
So he's kind of got Landa on his knee. He's got a cup of tea. He's told a few stories. He's been careful to leave out the huge bomb.
Yeah. When you say you've told them a few stories, what exactly, have you given them just general information about some of the stuff that you've been up to, or things that have happened in the past week or so with the group?
I would say he's covered a few things, like going down to Grimscar, meeting with Matthias. He's left out the obvious, like I say, the large...
Okay.
Basically letting him know that he's been to see the rest of the family.
Yeah. Okay. Grin looks a little bit concerned about the whole thing with Matthias. I know he's supposed to be, I don't think, friend's the right word, but I know him and, some of the others, they at least get on. Nobody's trying to, shoot each other or anything on the streets, unlike, them... the assholes from some of the... Oh, sorry, Landa, sorry. Your daughter giggles. Said a naughty word. No, but...
Am I supposed to see what the potato sees?
Can you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just looked over on Jurnis's screen.
That's
and
what
I was
we
just
normally
like,
do.
I have a black screen.
Because I just have my character. That's it.
Yep. Specky is the camera for the live stream. He is a spectator.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so we usually have, if there's a scene where one of us as players isn't in, we always have like the stream up in the corner so we can, get an idea of like the larger thing that's going on.
Still tickles me how long it took you to get that.
I know, Specky Taylor. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Anyway, and by the way, the reason you've got a black screen there, Dog, is because for some stupid reason I never included Dog. So give me one moment, and I will put Dog on the page, even though I'm going to make you invisible. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, so anyway. And no, Dog's already there.
I see like the slight hint of a room, but I don't see anything else.
Okay, I will tell you what. There.
Turn the lights on, it's dark, I'm scared.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Anyway. So you guys, you're bringing them up to speed when you hear a knock at the front door. You notice that Libby is about to move to the door when both Tegan and Vega both automatically get up like they're about to answer it. Libby gets a little bit annoyed, just barges past them, and she heads up the stairs. She's a little bit pushy, isn't she? What's her problem?
Well, it's kind of been just me and her for the last couple of months, so... And we've not exactly had many guests.
Well, as I say, mate, we're not too sure how long we're going to be. I mean, we definitely want to, see Mum and everything, see how she's doing. Yeah. But, I mean, honestly, that place is beautiful. And, yeah, sure, like, the butler, he's a bit of, a dick and everything. But, hey, between us, it looks like Yaz has a bit of a boyfriend. You see your sister poke her head out from the back door, say, "Shut the hell up!" Well, that's coming on. Tahu, you see this young dwarven girl head up the stairs and open the door and poke her head out. Hello, yes, can I help you?
Speaking in the group's multiple voices, I will piece together words from each one of them. Like, part of Aang's like, "Can you go get?" And then I'll swap the Jurnis's, like, Skullface. Then, like, back to each one of them to effectively, like, "I'm here for Skullface. Like, can you go fetch Skullface?" Or whatever. Like, yeah.
You get the impression this is the first time she's ever met a Kenku. She looks a little bit... Oh, okay, that's interesting. Would you mind waiting here just one moment, please?
Nod my head.
Okay, thank you. And she's just going to run back down. And again, tell you what, let's just copy the all the tailors all the time. And she eventually comes down. Mr. Wex? There's I believe there's a bird person at the door for you. It sounded like the the kitty and the red tiefling that you were with.
Oh, that'd be Tahu, right? Best go to sort this out. Linda, I just need to go upstairs for a couple of minutes.
Oh, but I want. Can I go too?
Best not, love, because this might be a job.
Libby leans forward and says, "Oh, it's okay, sir. I'll take care of her. Hello, Lander." And Lander's face lights up a little bit, spend some more time with Libby, allowing you to head upstairs. And I will just take you up there super fast.
Like I say, you're going to go upstairs.
Okay. You are now upstairs. As you head to the door, you notice Tahu waiting outside.
Okay. Lex just kind of stand in the doorway. He goes, okay.
You cut out after doorway.
Sorry. He goes, okay, Tahu, what's wrong?
I will then... Like, I'm assuming you were there the first time you met me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do the same, like, speech, rub my hands together, get ready, and then start with Jurnis's voice and speech that she wanted me to come get you and bring you to... What's Grimscar? Was it the name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope.
And then it runs on for an extra 30 seconds longer than you think it should, where she's like, "Did I do it right?"
Which now, wait for the hourglass to stop.
Here comes the boop.
Skullface just kind of massages the bridge of his nose. He just goes, I suppose I have to go and face him at some point. Well, give me a few minutes. I need to get my gear together.
Okay.
He's going to very quickly go over to this little post here where his coat is hung up in his hat. He's very quick to put his new mask inside the line of the coat. Basically gear up. He's going to quickly go downstairs to the kitchen. Okay, you lot. I'm going to have to go down to the Scar.
Oh,
Business.
do you want us to come with? I mean, I thought we were spending the night here and going down tomorrow.
He kind of looks to Lander and Libby and goes, Lander, you stay with Libby. Rest of you lot coming with me.
Come with you. I can't do children's voices to save my life.
No, Lander, you got to stay here where it's safe, okay?
She looks very disappointed, but Libby, basically, she picks her up and puts her on her shoulder. It's okay. We've got a few things to do around the house. You can help me cook dinner. Okay.
I'll be back as soon as I can, love.
Okay.
I'll make sure. I love you too. I'll make sure to let you Granny know you're all right, okay?
Okay. Give her my love.
Will do.
Okay. So, with your siblings in tow, you head out of the back of your workshop, and you are back onto the streets of the city. So, while Matthias and everything is everybody is being taken care of, I would say that you guys, not so much. You're going to make your way through the city as they did, head on to the main wall, and you are going to make your way down here. However, let me just get us over to the relevant map. See, where are you all? Here you are. Okay. So, as you guys are heading over here towards the large lift on Noir Wall, as ever, there's several checkpoints, both from city officials and various goblin officials. As ever, the toll is going to be 2 gold per person. Your family members do look a little bit embarrassed, but they don't really have anything on them. So that is going to be, let's see, we've got the twins. 3, that's 4. That's going to be 8 gold, 9. That's 10. That's 10 gold for Wex and his family, and 2 gold for Tahu.
I will pay my 2 gold.
Okay.
You know what? We'll chip in for everybody.
I was going to say, Ang is not part of this group. This is Skullface and
Sorry.
Tahu and so on. No worries. We'll get to you guys in a minute, because
how much gold was it?
That was going to be. It was 8. I think it was 10 altogether, wasn't it, including Wex? Because it's 2 gold per person.
Right. Skullface really didn't have much money on him, but he had enough to cover it.
Okay. May have to. Gonna have to sell something at this rate. Oh, maybe another toy, probably another weapon. Yeah. Eventually, you make your way past the last toll, and you head towards the elevator at Noir Wall. Meanwhile, the 18 You guys were basically didn't cost you anything because you were being guided by, one of the heads of the cartel. It's nice to have friends in low places. And you are currently at the Broken Wing, the casino, private establishment of Mr. Matthias Hill. Let's just get our scene
I would say
change.
that Icrius has fallen to the casino.
Okay. Now, I've got a question for Arcanis. How did Arcanis get onto the elevator? Because the way this works is there are several different ways into Grimscar. One of them is sort of like a road that cuts into the side of a sinkhole. The other is a very large elevator that is constantly monitored and costs 2 gold to ride up and down.
So I didn't catch any of that, Dennis.
No problem. The long and the short of it is it's a very large elevator that goes up and down. It is monitored with a checkpoint where they charge 2 gold to go up and down. So how has Arcanis gotten onto this
She's
elevator?
going to use canine stealth and try and sneak past.
Good luck.
Okay. Roll that for me, please.
Okay, I rolled it.
Okay, that's not bad. As far as you're aware, nobody is aware of you. Icarus, you are so aware. You are so aware.
Oh, I don't even
What
have
do
to
you
roll.
You've got, I would say, well, with the thing with Hunter's Mark, you're basically, the way it works is you've got a ping on them at any point. Is that correct?
Well, I'll just double check what it actually says. Let's see. Till the spell ends, blah blah blah, damage. We don't care about that. You have advantage on any wisdom perception or wisdom survival check you make to find the target.
Okay, well,
So I still have to roll.
In that case, roll with advantage.
Yes. What? What the fuck? I'm gonna stop with this shit! What the
Hey, Icarus,
Yes?
Hey. You've had the last 3 sessions really good rolls.
I know!
And that's probably the first shit roll I've seen you roll.
But I feel like spell slot on this.
I'm just worried about the phantom spirits coming down this hallway here.
The burb got distracted by a shiny.
Yeah. Oh.
That's just Chemise.
You're not feeling it today.
He just saw the skyline
get a good enough sleep.
From the left. He's like, "Ooh, holy shit, we're up high."
You're still
I
thinking
would
about
say
that dream.
this, yeah. I would say
Yeah,
this as
Chemise
well.
doesn't like that.
Chemise doesn't like what, sorry?
Doesn't like being in a lift.
Oh, interesting. Well, for those of you who've never been on this elevator before, it's a little rickety. Actually, let's just get back to the... kind of went out of sequence there. The town of Grimscar, as you head onto this elevator, and for the first time, you're looking out onto the sinkhole in its entirety. It is... it's pretty big. You see everything out below you. The large remains of the original structure of the wall that has been knocked onto its side, has been built up around. It's very Fallout 4 in its construction. It's very ramshackle and everything. On this side of the divide, you look down and you see the uneven, slightly off-kilter town of Grimscar, full of buildings built on top of mounds. The verticality of the place is pretty interesting. You see wooden walkways and gantries that go up, down, and around, sometimes under buildings. It's a little bit Venice without the water, is the best way to describe it. However, to the north of the wall, you see absolute desolation and ruin. The hints of what may have been streets at one point, rubble, destruction, and every now and then a little bit of movement too. Further out, you see the large waterway. This is for those of you who've been in the city for a little while. You know this as Dankmire. As you look out, you see part of the main river that you guys travelled on to get to the Fabrider estate. Part of that bank breaks away, leading to a large, heavy waterfall that fills this part of the sinkhole. As you look further down, you notice over here, because it's a little bit difficult to spot on this version of the map, there is a large hole here where the water drains into like a secondary waterfall, stopping it from overflowing and just draining away somewhere else. So, as the elevator descends and you witness the town of Grimscar itself, it is it's a lot. The best way to describe this is fantasy Deadwood. The streets are filled with people, drinking, talking, laughing. A massive percentage of goblins and hobgoblins, bugbears, and so on. But other races too. Plenty of humans here. Lizard folk, dragonborn, a whole bunch of different races. It's quite a mix. Many of them dressed a little bit grimy, a little bit shabby. More work. That is not appropriate music. Thank you. 1 second.
I have no
77.
music.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to get some nighttime city music earlier, and it went a little bit too cyberpunk there. But yeah.
Sadly, I do not have access to the music this week. Boo. Oh well.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's just for us then. Anyway, as you head down, you go through the streets. Again, there's no such thing as a straight line in Grimscar. You head up some gangplanks, down some pathways, until eventually you find yourself in one of the more wealthy areas. There are 1 or 2 people on street corners who look like they're working people, offering services for coin. There's street vendors, a couple of hustlers. You hear every now and then the occasional gunfire or arrow shot. And eventually you are led into this large building, beautiful looking facade. There we go. Facade. There we go. I can word. I'm British. I'm from the place that made those words.
Facade's French.
Yes. Don't tell them that. They'll want it back.
Oui.
Oh man.
English doesn't borrow from other languages. It follows them down dark alleys, knocks them out, and rifles through their pockets for loose grammar.
100% correct.
Yep.
Anyway,
Freedom Prize.
yeah. Anyway, I would say this, as you're going down this particular high street, a lot of the illumination and everything has been, the typical sort of gas and oil lanterns. But here, you notice electrical lighting, neon lighting. It's a little bit hissy and poppy, a little bit uneven, but for the most part, it's pretty bright, pretty garish, and you can tell that the technology level in this area is a little bit higher than you would expect from what to some people would be considered a slum. Now, you guys who said that you were actually going to drop off your associates at the Silver Shield. Was that correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I would say this. As you guys got to around here, Matthias would think to himself for a moment, and he'd snap his fingers. One of the goblins that you had met in the past, we're going to call him Bob. Bob the Goblin. Boblin, there we go. Matthias puts a hand on his shoulder and says, I'd like you to, see that they get to the Silver Shield safely. And Miss Springsinger and Mr. Ang join us as soon as possible. Bob turns to go, and then he grabs hold of Bob and pulls him back. Just want you to know, Bob, he puts over hand on his shoulder.
Oh my God.
Number one.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, ha ha.
I couldn't resist. So, anyway. So the group heads down towards the Silver Shield Tavern. And I would say, for the sake of brevity, let me get everybody's tokens together. Because
Icrius is going to follow him to the Silver Shield.
Okay.
Can I just say that I'm picturing like the giant lift elevator and all of us on the right side and the wolf dog on the left, and we're like in the same car going up, and we're all looking over at the dog, and the dog's looking away.
It's like, I'm not here. What are you talking about?
No, she just kind of stood there like acting casual.
I just assumed they
On
jumped
the
on top of the elevator car.
That's what I mean.
Even better. Even
Yes.
better. Yes.
Spread eagled on the top.
Oh man.
Like that video of a husky lying on the glass roof.
Yes, exactly that.
Or the cat in the
Okay.
paraglider.
And now I need to go to this map to grab these tokens because I didn't realize you were going to bring them. That's absolutely fine. Do. Too many cooks.
It's almost like Icrius has done this before.
Too many cooks. Okay. So, because I don't want to keep juggling people around and everything, I would say that round about this point, Jurnis and crew, as you guys are heading one way, you notice coming the other way, Tahu and Skullface. Let's put you over there. And where's our little goblin guy? Sure. Let's have you. Do. I make this so complicated for myself, don't I?
Only when you want it to be.
Yes, I am the author of my own destruction. Okay, so here we are. You find yourselves outside the Silver Shield Tavern.
You probably noticed Skullface is wearing some rather spiffy-looking new threads.
Would you like to describe those spiffy new threads?
Basically, he's got his usual armor has been down. I won't say downgraded, but he's wearing a waistcoat that's clearly disguised armor. He's basically tidied himself up a little bit more. He's got a new hat. He's not wearing his mask. That's still inside his jacket, in his coat pocket. But yeah, he's basically spiffed himself up a little bit.
You've basically gone full Sweeney Todd. Victorian outfit.
Yep. That's while I'm here, I should just quickly switch. There we go.
Okay. So, you both basically see each other from across the street as you basically intersect with each other. What do you guys do?
Ah, Scully, it feels like months. How are things going up top?
Can't complain. Land has settled in pretty good. Then we got your message and we had to come down here.
Yes, I suppose you've heard about all that's happened up top.
Not much beyond what I saw myself.
Well, perhaps we should have a quick conversation. And Jurnis is going to beckon him closer and basically give him the rundown of what they found out and the status of Margot.
Oh, we might
As
be
you're doing that,
right?
I would say as you're doing that, you do notice that Bob is keeping a close eye on you all.
And anyway, we met up with Matthias outside. He wanted to have a word with us. And I figured that's a good idea, considering we left certain things in his care.
Yeah, might be a good idea. I'll best come with you.
That's why
As
I
you
asked you
say
to come.
that, you hear echoing from inside the tavern. Where is he? So, Icarus, could you give me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Sure.
You about to get yeeted back by a tiny goblin woman.
Yes. I would say that's just enough for you to get out of the way of this green blur in this fairly frilly Victorian-style dress. How would you describe the Martin strides?
Platinum
Zephyr?
blonde, close to beehive style hairdo. She's basically Peggy Mitchell.
Yes. This is Goblin
Peggy Mitchell. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Peggy Mitchell.
Green stride, get here now.
Oh God, I was not looking forward to this. He just kind of very sheepishly makes his way up the stairs.
Good to see you again, Miss Greenstrides. just
Good
give it
to
a
see
little
you
wave.
too. Yeah. She's just this small, terrifying goblin woman is just glaring daggers at Skullface for a good 3 or 4 seconds. You notice Skullface's family in the background, sort of like, kind of just staying out of it for a second. This gentleman over here, who you'd assume to be an older brother, steps back a little bit. It's like, I'm not here right now. And she just like stares at you for a good few seconds before she picks you up in the tightest hug ever and gives you the biggest kiss on your forehead. You're a good boy, you good boy. And she says, "Where are my kids? Come here." And your siblings, make the way around, and everybody is basically one after one is picked up. Yaz especially. Given a very tight bear hug. I wouldn't say you take damage, but that's a hug. You're going to remember that hug for a bit. And she's like, right, all you lot inside now. I want to spend some time with my family. As she's turns around, she looks at the rest of you. It's like, you got more of them? Who are these all?
Well, I'm sure you remember Ang and Miss Springsinger? And of course, Grads.
I do.
Madam?
Yeah, the little one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they helped me out before I had a problem.
Right. You lot. She points to each one of you inside now. Rejects! And I don't say that to anybody.
Well, madam, well, we definitely appreciate the offer. We do have to be on our way. Just stop by for a moment to drop off our new associates.
Associates. She looks over and at Icarus and Chemise.
Yes, we just have to run a quick errand, and we're hoping
Oh,
you
no.
wouldn't mind them staying here for a short time.
Yeah, I've got to keep an eye on them.
Chemise folds her hands together and into a tense her fingers and then bows her head.
We're kind of
Right.
doing a bit of follow up on what we were here for last time.
Right, say no more, Waltz Aviers. Okay, sure. Right. All you lot inside then, she says to her family. They all make their way inside. Right. Well, any friends of my son's, a friend of ours, make yourselves comfortable. I'll be sure to have one of the kids get you something. She notices Bob over here, glances over to UX and gives another sign. I get it. So here's the question. So Tahu, Chemise, Icarus, they are staying here. Is Dog coming or going? We keep splitting the party. I'm so sorry.
Chemise just flat out says, looks up and says, I'll defer to you on this, Sir Icarus. I just don't want to be alone.
Well, we don't really have a choice in the matter. We are not wanted at this moment in time.
No, I mean
Well-
you. Will you stay
What?
with me?
He literally doesn't have a choice in the matter, like D.
I know, but she's still asking. She has a reason.
Okay. But of course, my lady.
Thank you.
All right. Well, yeah, we've got plenty of food and drink available, all at reasonable prices. But again, if you're friends of my son, this day is a good day. Yeah, we can get you a free drink or something. Come on in. So,
Sorry, we
What?
keep sidelining you guys.
seriously, we are. This is not intentional. We'll figure it out. Ongoing plot. We apologize. So,
You're forgiven this time.
Just enjoy
So-
Goblin EastEnders.
yeah. Incidentally, yeah, I will say as your mother opens the door, again, you hear one of the barrels collapses and it makes a dun, 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 dun. Oh, it never gets old. Anyway, so while everyone's chilling out in the Silver Shield, Bob looks a little bit twitchy and checking his watch, and he motions for Skullface, Jurnis, and Ang to accompany him.
Yep, Skullface follows.
Okay.
As
And
for
so
them,
does Agnes.
And so Arcanis is following them.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, while they're off doing that, is there anything that Chemise, Icarus, Tahu, or Dog want to do in the tavern?
Wasted.
Actually, yes.
Chemise declines to drink or eat anything. She's not hungry or thirsty, but she's just gonna want to retire to her room as soon as she can. But she does hang out with Icarus. She does not go up there by herself.
Are we really going to be here long enough to justify getting a room for the night?
Oh, I thought you said we were going to be overnight.
Out of character, no, don't worry about that. No.
Okay, then she's just going to stick with Sir Icarus.
Well, Icarus would like to know if there's somewhere where he could perhaps change his garb somewhat in private.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Come with me, big fella. Come with me.
Meanwhile, Chemise is like, and I'll stay here. Yes, I'll wait here.
I'll only be a moment, Miss Chemise. I'm just remedying an issue.
Chemise looks afraid, actually scared, and I need to roll something really quick.
Mm-hmm.
While we're doing that, just because not to keep this going too much longer, but it's important for me. She's I don't know how that. Oh yeah, she's pretending to be afraid.
Miss Chemise, save that performance for when we're in combat. You're amongst friends here, and Tiberius will look after you for sure. I'll only be a moment.
She kind of blinks, shocked, mock shock, and she lowers her head and nods.
I would say in the back of your mind, Chemise, you do hear, sharper than expected.
And she's going to respond.
I see. Makes sense. So, so you guys have, given basically free food, free drink for a little while. Dog, you get many pets from your Kenku friend.
Yes. And I pay for foods for dogs.
Okay.
So dog can have a good meal tonight.
Okay. I would say that give me a straight up charisma, because you're basically tempting a goblin with gold, even though she said that you were going to get something for free.
Well, is that including the dog's meal?
Yeah.
Dog's a friend to everyone.
Yeah.
If everybody's getting free food, then I don't have to worry about paying. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Okay.
No, Skullface's sister definitely would make sure I've got something sweet. His eldest sister.
Which one would this be?
I need to double check, because remember, he has 7.
Yeah, you have a lot of characters in your flipping family, mate. There was Una.
It wasn't Una. I think Una's one of the. Not Una. 1 second.
We've got them all right here. We got, if Roll20 will load, we've got, let's see, we've got Cheska.
Cheska, that was it.
Okay, so let's just, start putting people in the group over here and over there. And Arcanus and so on are over here. And you're over there, and so on and so forth. Okay. Where did the dog go? Oh, there we go. Boop. Yeah, so Una is busy petting the dog. Basically, dog is getting rid, or Tiberius, as Icarus has been dubbing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're basically getting, belly rubs and, pets from Tahu, from this. How would you describe Una and Cheska?
I I say Cheska is she's taller than Mar because Mar's quite short even for a goblin. Cheska is also blonde, slightly darker. Her hair's in a ponytail. You can kind of see 2 holsters on her hip, which she tries to keep hidden, but clearly within easy reach. As for Una, she's slightly smaller than Cheska. She's not the youngest, but she's still quite young.
Okay. And you've got your oldest brother, Vec, outside as the bouncer / doorman, just enjoying a cigarette, keeping watch on things. It's very quiet business day so far, but it's nice to have family around. So, Icrius, you had quickly gone to the bathroom.
Yes.
Which we will say
Thank
is
you.
this area, because I don't have a bathroom on this map.
No worries,
What are
Dennis.
you doing?
So basically, the only thing Icrius is going to do is he's just going to take off the Absepsis tabard and tuck it into his inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, the roach armor is a full set of armor, so the tabard is not a required part to have it not look ridiculous. So it's complimentary, basically. You can go with or without it, and Icrius is going without it now. He's going full roach.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Okay.
is about all he could do, so he is gonna head outside.
Now, as you're heading outside,
Yes.
what is your passive perception?
Probably not very high. It is a 12.
12. As you're leaving the bathroom, there's the faintest cold breeze at the back of your neck, but other than that, nothing.
Oh, fun. That's a strange sensation again.
Probably something to do with the foundation.
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself.
Zephy remembered.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a joke to make it subtle, but no, I couldn't think of one.
So, anything you guys wish to do before we head on to the next section?
Excuse me, Miss Greenstrides.
Yes, sir.
I understand that food and drink are free right now, but for what I have in mind, you might reconsider that offer. What I'm particularly looking for is the strongest spirit you have, the hardest stuff.
Before you mentioned spirits, you did see her eyes narrow and glance over to her daughters, and there was like this subtle motion where she looked like she was trying to pull something from under the bar.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you mentioned spirits, her hand relaxes. All right, now, sure, we can do that. What would you like? What's your poison?
How about a good hard whiskey? Whole bottle's worth, if possible.
Bottle of whiskey. Okay, I like a man who knows what he wants. Yeah, let me get that for you. And let me just bring up the current expenses list. Whiskey. That is gonna be. Let's see. We've got ale. We've got wine. I would say that for you, my handsome fellow, is going to be 10 gold pieces. This
Not
is
a
the
problem.
finest, by the way.
The finest is what I want, my lady.
Yeah.
And he does indeed put down 10 gold pieces.
Okay.
No fuss, no
Pleasure
muss.
doing business. You
Pleasure doing
hardly
business
see
with
the
you.
gold. It's just one moment it's there, the next it is gone.
Oh yeah, Icrius knows goblins.
Chinese.
Mm.
That's more like it. He's gonna like open up that bottle, pour himself like a glass to like the top and down it.
Okay. Chemise, you do hear at the back of your head your friend. Huh. Somewhat
And Chemise, sorry, go
unpredictable.
ahead. What did you say?
Somewhat unpredictable, this one, isn't it?
I don't know what to make of him myself, she says in her mind. But my plan is to have him catch me putting on a show so that he'll think I like him.
Ah. I approve. Be careful, though. Too much attention could be an issue. I trust your judgment, though.
I know what I'm doing.
I'll enjoy the show, then.
Icrius actually pushes the bottle towards Chemise and Tahu, and he goes, "You're welcome to partake if you wish. It'll be on me. Stoke your inner fires."
Chemise bows her head and says, "No, thank you, none for me."
I got distracted by a text message. What?
Icarus is offering you expensive whiskey.
Who accepts?
Yes, a good lad.
It is pretty tasty. There's a bit of a... The best way to describe it is there's a warm burn rather than a sharp burn. It lingers for a while. You definitely feel your insides warm up. There's a certain aftertaste to it as well. There's an aniseed, almost like almost a hint of mint as well, which is unusual for whiskey. But whatever this particular brand is, it's pretty nice. This is one of the finer drinks that you've had. I'd also like both of you to make Constitution saving throws, please.
Yeah.
And a Constitution saving throw from Tahu, please. Okay, yeah, you're both fine. Although I would say, Icarus, you're not too sure if you saw that wall move or not, but fine. Fine.
Do I have a higher constitution than Icarus?
Yeah, that perplexes me. It's like, how did that happen?
I tend to build my characters very tanky.
It's all those
Constitution is
daggers.
another dump stat. Yeah.
I've got a 14 in Constitution. I'm sorry.
Don't be. Constitution shouldn't be a dump stat, but we always use it as one.
I don't.
Mm.
In every RPG, health is the most important stat to keeping your character alive.
Chemise
that.
whistles.
You should see
Chemise
how
what,
he
sorry?
built his path characters.
I just said Chemise whistles.
Mm.
Is she whistling a tune or is she just...
No,
is
no,
it
no.
just-
It was in remark to your Constitution talk. That I got a character.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know what dump stat's your dump stat.
Meanwhile, something sneezes in the general direction of Jurnis.
Just for argument's sake, I'm posting the picture of the Green Stride family in the player chat.
Thank you.
Everybody
Yes, thank you.
Constitution is a dump stat.
I have no dumb stats.
Yeah,
Just stats that are a bit
the-
less than others.
Every one of Chemise's stats is carefully designed in character. There are no dump stats.
Except Constitution, because that is a dump stat. No, I'm joking.
Nope.
Technically, to a Kenku or Charisma is a dump stat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys just chill, unwind.
Looks like
No,
Jurnis
have-
19 charisma.
Oh, there's more I could provide, Dennis.
Oh, yes, please do.
Yes. So, now that it's just us, and we can actually have an opportunity to be actual people, getting to know one another, what do you all think of this situation we find ourselves in? Isn't it nice to be kept out of the loop yet dragged along?
I actually need to check something with it before DM before I respond. Really quick,
Hmm.
1 moment.
I mean, I would say this: you can be as you can have your character be as intelligent as you want. If the player is able to make a leap in logic, I think it's fair enough for the character to have that leap of logic, unless you're playing someone who's actively not very intelligent.
Chemise
So, like,
lowers her
if you
voice. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. But yeah, so for clarification, like, say, if you were playing, like, say, a grog type barbarian who has trouble reading and doesn't understand letters, then maybe I'd have you roll for something. But no, you're fine.
And so Chemise lowers her voice and says, in the mines, there were times that we tried to do things to make life a little more bearable, and the overseers always caught us until we figured out that if a couple of people start a fight or raise a ruckus, then the rest of us could do what we needed. I can't help but think that what we're seeing is something like that. I think they're wasting their time with trying to figure out those fires. I think they were a distraction from something completely different. That's what I think. From what I've observed. I mean, I don't know this place, but it reminds me of the mines. Reminds me of what we used to do to sneak things in or out. Or when someone would try to escape.
I'd say that would be a fair assumption to make. But we can't really go investigating this matter directly until our compatriots have finished catching up with, all the spiders and the many webs they're entangled with.
I don't pretend to understand any of it.
They're cavorting
Things
with criminals and less savory folk.
Life was very much different.
And,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sheska says, this goblin girl who's currently painting with a dog, she sort of like pokes her head up from the, underneath the table. Oh, don't mind me. She goes back to the dog.
And she says, where I'm from, life was simple. Life was salt.
Well, you're far away from the mines now, my dear. Nothing simple here.
The mines follow me wherever I go. I've traveled a long way, and the mines are always right there behind me. I don't think they'll ever be anywhere else.
I want to insight that, because that is a very strange statement to make. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
The mines.
That dream's
the
still on.
thing.
That dream is still on your mind.
Yeah.
Been thinking about it all day.
The mines were the friends we made along the way.
It's quite alright, Miss Chemise. I miss home too. I miss home dreadfully.
I don't. I escaped from there.
The blepping wolf just suddenly poked its head up above Icrius' shoulder.
Oh my god!
Is that out of character or did that happen?
No, that's out of character.
Okay, because
okay.
Just
like,
to point
sweet
out,
mercy!
Icrius probably would have noticed that the wolf is no longer near him.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because sometimes we forget to move our tokens while we're doing things. So I had to ask to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just picture it like coming back over the side like Insidious.
Yes.
Well, tell me, my dear, have you ever been to Yabalhari?
I have not.
You should visit it sometime. It's rather different from your minds. Vast mountains, rolling plains. It's a beautiful place, really.
Chemise closes her eyes and says, I'd like to visit there sometime. Maybe stay in a nice chalet and look at the mountainside with maybe some running water. She gets a distant look.
Between you and me, he says as he downs like another glass of whiskey. My favorite thing to do when I'm not
Saving the world from the undead?
Yes, that, and like preaching sermons or studying ancient texts and all that sort of paladin business is just taking off this suit and armor and just going for a fly for an hour or two. There's not much in a paladin's life that gives them free time, so what precious I have, I like to fly.
I'd love to learn to fly. And at that, I want to ask, sorry. I'm choking, sorry. Talk amongst yourself, I need oxygen.
No worries.
No problem, no problem. I would say while there's this conversation about flight, Tahu, what are your thoughts on this? As a creature who is incapable of flight.
Yep.
Tahu.
What? Sorry.
Oh yeah, no. We were just saying that basically Icrius and Chemise are just having this conversation. Icrius was basically saying, "I love nothing better than to take my armor off and fly around, stretch my wings." And Chemise is like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to be able to fly." Both of them saying this kind of apparently unwittingly in front of a creature who is incapable of flight.
Shrug.
And gets bullied because of it.
Yeah, it's not a thing that kind of bugs Tahu then.
Pull out a joint and start smoking.
Okay. Behind you hear this other goblin go, "Oh, have you got a spare?" And Cheska's like, "No, but no, have you got a spare, mate?"
Chemise wrinkles her nose and looks away in distaste.
I'll make sure I don't blow it in your direction.
No.
I'm not that much of an asshole.
Well, Wex's dad used to smoke a pipe, so...
Yeah, for what it's worth, it doesn't look like she's offended that you're smoking. It looks like she just doesn't like smoke.
Well, I would make sure I don't blow it in your face.
Yes, that's very nice.
Now the question is, though, do you actually provide any spare joints to Una or Cheska?
No.
They seem
Aww.
very disappointed, and they go back to grumpily petting the dog.
Because I wouldn't have enough to spare.
That's fair. So, Dee, was there something you were going to do?
Yeah, she was going to ask Icrius and says, "Are you from there?"
What, Yabol Hari?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Born and raised.
I got the sense of that. Your voice changed. You didn't have that imperiousness that you have a lot of the time. I feel like you have to do that to make people listen.
Remarkably astute of you, my dear. Yes, it did rather catch me off guard when we had our private conversation yesterday.
Thank you for sharing with me.
Thank you for asking. Most people don't.
Well, you are imposing.
It's my job to be imposing, my dear.
That must get tiring sometimes.
It's certainly tiring right now.
I understand. But that's what I was saying before. I think whoever it was that marshaled those people to start those fires, I believe you when you say it wasn't from your people. But I can't help but think that something else somewhere else was happening. And I think it's important for us to find out what that might have been.
A mild correction, my dear. It's entirely possible it was one of my people who directed this affair, but I don't think they're the mastermind behind it. As much as I'd hate to admit it, there is probably actual Asepsis officials involved somewhere down the line. But I am a paladin of Asepsis. I have certain powers. And at least in Yawahari, I'm a person of significant import. In other words, I'd at least like to discuss this matter with these individuals and find out why they continue to drag our name through the mud. We're public servants. And if we don't adapt to the changing public opinions, we're going to fall by the wayside and become the villains. If you don't adapt, you get lost and discarded.
Chemise looks surprised by that and says, yeah, we all have to adapt to things that change. Life can make unexpected changes. Every day. And she bows her head.
True words have never been said, my dear. Right, now then, unless there's anything else, I'd like to dispense with a serious conversation and have a fun time with this bottle of whiskey before the rest of our compatriots come back and we end up getting dragged around to some sort of shady beating with people we don't know about things we don't understand.
Now, was that a shady meeting or a shady beating? Both
Yeah,
are valid.
beating.
Can I just I want it to be that Chemise asked that question in universe.
Yes. He says, meeting? Beating? What did you say?
Well, with the kind of folk we're hanging out with now, milady, it's probably both.
It's not long, you know, said Chester.
Chemise just shakes her head and says, what have I gotten myself into?
Speaking of, would any of you fine goblin folk like to partake of some of this whiskey? Unless, unless Mar Greenstrides takes issue.
The moment you say, does anyone want some, you see a couple of people look forward and go, and then you hear, and I would say, let me just get the button because I forget I actually have a button for this. You do hear a from behind the counter, and everyone just sort of moves away from the bottle. Not during work hours, kids. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, while that's going on, I'm going to head over to a different location. There we are. The Broken Wing, the casino that I basically described earlier, blah, 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 neon lights, all that jazz.
And all
Inside.
that jazz. Sorry.
And all that jazz. It's a good song. Anyway.
And just going to say, Agnes is going to try and stick close to the group to try and pass along with them at this point.
Now, here's the thing. You are a wolf.
Yeah.
And this is a business. It's a casino. There's an orc and a female ogre bouncer at the door. They are checking everybody. Admittedly, with Matthias and everything, they are just allowing them to go straight through, no problem. How do you want to try and do this?
Again, she's going to try and stick close to Skullface and try and pass off that she's his pet.
Deception disadvantage. Well, first of all, I would say that's going to be a stealth check to see if Skullface sees you or not. Okay, and now And now a thing from
So
Skullface.
that was done with Icrius' sheet for some reason.
Okay.
Wait 1 second, I'm just going to quickly change this to Icrius.
Not a problem.
Disadvantage. Which one was it?
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I want you to... What's Skullface's passive perception?
Skullface's passive is 1 second. His passive is 14.
Okay, so Skullface doesn't really notice a large dog moving behind him, but I want you to give me a, I'd say, deception with... yeah, deception. Let's just go with deception since you rolled so high on your stealth.
Fling deception.
Actually, let's say with a disadvantage because you do have a
Let's roll
bunch of
again.
people who saw you last time.
Oh.
10, I would say, is probably just under what you need. Skullface doesn't notice anything, but after a moment or two, Jurnis, you kind of glance to the side. It's like, wolf's there again.
It's that bloody dog again.
I don't tell me dog's for, does he?
You haven't got more of those snacks that's sniffing out, do you, Graz?
Look, hey, what I do with my time is my business, Red. But actually, no, I'm still cleaned out, thank you.
Shoo, pup. Go on, shoo. Just turns to make a little shooing gesture. Like, nudge it ever so gently with her legs. Like, go on. Off you go.
After a moment, you hear this large ogre woman. She's dressed like a bouncer. It's fairly... The clothes are clean. They are very simple. They're not overly elaborate or super formal. But it's basically, this is like, the type of like armed security type outfit. It says, "It's yours."
No.
Are you cut out there, Jurnis?
I said no, it's not ours. It seems to be
Right.
following us.
She literally leans forward and she scoops up Arcanus with one hand, and she starts walking out with Arcanus in the palm of her hand. Are you doing anything before you are politely yeeted out of this establishment?
Oh, don't hurt her, poor
I
thing.
can kind of. It's just kind of giving Jurnis the puppy dog eyes.
Performance disadvantage.
Performance.
And insight from Jurnis, if I may.
Sure. Where's my insight? There it is.
Oh, he looks so sad, though. Or she.
She.
Yeah, the ogre basically, again, just holding you, basically like scooped under your legs with one palm and just like sets you down outside, then takes a palm and like very gently, pat on top of the head and says, "Go, go." Stomps back over to a post and is just like watching you. Not threatening, just like blank stare at you.
I guess she's going to stay where she was put down.
Very wise. Okay. So, you guys head through the casino floor, and you eventually find yourselves in the back room.
Is it the meat locker again?
Actually, you do think at first you are heading to the meat locker, but you pass it. You go past several, the corridors here are actually fairly tight, whereas, as you've seen it before, the show floor of the casino is fairly, beautiful looking and, luxurious. The backside that customers don't get to see is pretty drab. You see all the different workers, whether they're on break or running, to different sections, with wailers and cashiers and everything. Obviously, they all step to the side for Matthias and you as you go past. But the paper is peeling a little. There's a slight damp smell. It's not. You can see where all the money goes in regards to the upkeep of this place. And you actually do pass the cellar where the meat locker is, and you head up this time, up a flight of stairs to a rather nice-looking, luxurious office. Matthias sits down in this thick leather chair, and he bids you to sit down across from him.
Skullface is going to take his hat off and sit down.
I appreciate you coming on such short terms, Mr. Greenstride. I trust the family as well.
Let's just say they're doing a little bit better than they were a couple of days ago.
I'm glad to hear it. I was so sad to hear about the loss of Christina and Eric. I saw was the pair of them. I never worked with them personally, but Margot and I, we like to keep each other up to date on clients who might be of use and clients to avoid.
Well, let's just say they didn't see it coming.
But enough pleasantries. We have things to discuss. Can I get an insight from all three of you, please?
Ooh, shiny wallpaper.
It is nice. This is a freaking luxurious office for all the lack of care that most of the back end does. This room is beautiful.
Wow, that's impressive. Rolled a nat 1 and a nat 20.
20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, yeah. Roll20 likes to do something.
I feel like the roll 20 should just. I feel like they should just cancel each other out, and it's a 10. But that's just not how it goes. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7. Okay.
So, yeah, don't worry. I'm not going to ask you to roll severity or anything like that. That's only in combat. What do you think I am? I see a sadist.
Oh, darling, that's my job.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You're going to love me.
Just imagine if a maid was walking by your door and heard that.
Yes.
Well, that would be rather interesting, wouldn't it? To be
I
fair,
mean, considering it's a hotel.
it is a hotel. I am in my own enclosed room, and I sound nothing like this when I'm out and around. I speak my usual accent is rather different from this.
But yeah.
Your darling, you're going to love me.
Moving back to this for just one moment. I would say both Skullface and Jurnis. Skullface, you do pick up a little bit of tension from Matthias, despite the fact that he's acting fairly casual. Jurnis, he looks a little worried. Now, do you remember? Well, of course you do. The little incident you helped us with a few days back, the device you disarmed over in the Windfall area.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. I assume it's still in your possession.
You would assume incorrectly.
Facepalm.
Do you actually facepalm?
Jurnis will just do that little thing where you pinch the bridge of your nose for a moment and go, "Alright.
Indeed.
What
It
happened?"
appears that there are some people in my organization who do not understand what the term loyalty means. One of the reasons we're not having our little chat in the meat locker is because it is, shall we say, fully stocked. I am in the process of trying to find out exactly who, where, and, because I know this is going to come up later, why. But for the moment, I do not have much. Though I have my suspicions. Mr. Greenstride, what do you know about the Dredger?
Dredgers, can't say I know much beyond what anyone else knows.
Give me a basic, since you're a resident of Grimscar, give me a history check, if you'd be so kind.
Okay. Because dredgers are the smugglers, aren't they?
Yeah, the Dredgers, they're mainly people who work on, casinos, gambling and all that, but recently they've kind of been working with the blind runners. They have a major operation going on somewhere deep in the wilds, some kind of mining operation. But that's the general thing that you would know. I would say with an 18, that is pretty high. That's not everybody knows about the mining thing specifically, but the Dredgers have been trying to recruit a lot of people. Don't know much about the leadership or anything, but they're a noisy bunch, even by cartel standards.
No, you can't trust them as far as you can throw them. We've got some sort of mining concern going on in the wilds, but that's about it.
Yes, well, I have... He stops and thinks for a moment. This goes without saying, but I am not responsible for the atrocities that have been committed on our city over the past few hours. We all agree on that, do we not?
Of course.
Anyone who would make such assertions or leak information that would allow others to make those assertions would not be friends of mine. And you, Mr. Greenstride, would know the difference between how I treat my friends, he gestures to you, and how I treat my enemy. So everything we discuss in here stays in here. We do understand each other, don't we?
Of course.
Good man. He looks to Jurnis and Ang.
Jurnis will nod.
Ang will nod as well.
I have been contacted by member of the Dredgers. I do not know if this source can be trusted or not, but they seem to believe that the leader, a rather repugnant hob by the name of Natrix, might be behind this. She's been trying to worm her way into my affairs and my pants for the better part of a few months now. The woman is repulsive, but persistent. In order to placate her, I offered her a business deal or something. One or two of hers, a couple of mine. Well, my friend on the inside seems to think that Natrix had her fellas lift the material from that device and had it shipped back up to the city. I do not know this for sure, but that's the information I'm being given. Now, if this is a lie, then someone is trying to frame another goblin for this. If this is the truth, then we might have a new lead to follow. I can't move against Natrix directly because, as you know it, that's not really how things work. One of us tries to take out the other, then, well, everything starts falling apart. But what happened yesterday? No. That is too far. I don't know what Natrix is doing, but I would like you to find out.
With finesse, I trust.
Well, let me put it to you this way. If it does turn out that she was involved in putting that material in the hands of, I don't know, riders or sepsis, I still don't know who's behind this for real, but I would appreciate it if you would give her a taste of grim justice. You would know this to mean kill the
Yeah.
bitch.
I
One
think-
thing I do request, and I am most insistent on this request, my friend. Nobody ever finds out that she was involved, that I was involved, that you were involved. You do this for me, for our fair city, and you will be well looked after. How does 1,000 each sound to you?
Gold sounds fair enough.
1,000 gold. Finesse work. Sounds good to me.
Miss Spring Singer?
I fear if we keep taking more of these missions, we're going to start forming a reputation, but that seems fair compensation.
Only the best reputation, of course, my dear. But again, I don't want anyone knowing about this. So your reputation will be pristine. You're just going over there to, let's see now. How do I put this? Job opportunity. As you know, I apologize. Rewind. As you know, dredges are hiring for this mining operation. You're all individuals of various skills and abilities. Apparently, the little kobold population has been causing problems for Natrix. You could pretend to be, looking for work as, miners, but personally, I would go with the pitch that you're there to help clean up the mess. Kill some
Oh,
kobolds.
I have a couple of ideas myself, but I'll see what I can do to get us in there.
Going in under the guise of being cleaning up the riffraff seems to be straightforward, but it depends on how we want to be subtle or not.
Well, Mr. Singer, I think both you and the dear departed Fulbrighter twins know just how much of an expert of explosives I am.
Be advised, though. Oh.
I don't know
I
what
see.
you mean.
No, that's a good idea.
I assume Matthias doesn't know that we're responsible for that. Or has he inferred that he knows about it?
He has inferred.
He's kind of inferred. It's like, explosions happen all the time, even underground. Accidents do happen. An accident could work very well, but Wix, my dear friend, one thing that I've learned: never repeat yourself. Patterns become recognizable over time.
Don't worry, Mr. Matthias. Like I said, I've got a few plans.
You can call me Mr. Hill, but Matthias to my friends. And I, my dear friends, that is what we are now, whether you like it or not. So, you were going to say something else, Sephi?
Skullface just nods and it.
Okay. Well, the name of my contact is this little peck, regular goblin gal by the name of Nadine. Before my time, she was actually the head of the dredger, Carlisle, and then Trade Prince sent Natrix to replace her. Nadine's done most of the legwork over the years. Natrix just reaps a lot of the glory. I've got a sneaking suspicion you get rid of Natrix and things might smooth out between us and the dredger. Anything you need to know, any kind of resources, tools, toys you'll need. If you want, I'm more than happy to give you all a little bit of credit at the casino, see if you can make a little extra cash. Also, we have the upstairs room for entertainment, should any of you be interested in such things.
Wex is very tempted at trying to win a bit of cash, but ultimately decides against it.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say you were very tempted to make use of the facilities upstairs, and I was going to be very surprised.
I was like, wow, he's moved on fast.
Matthias, I think I've got a few plans. Like I said, I've got a few plans for getting in there.
As you wish.
Well, perhaps the best thing for us to do now would be to apprise the situation and start thinking up a few ideas. And also to consider whether or not we should include our newest companions, or if we should still keep them in the dark.
I assume you're not going to be able to just push them off to the side.
I'd rather push one of them off a cliff, but that's not here nor there.
That can be arranged. Who are you thinking of? He looks like he's making a note.
Please, Jurnis! Please, sign my death warrant!
It was hyperbole, my dear friend. I don't actually mean it. It's more of a... No, I don't hate him, he just kind of irritates me. It doesn't
I know
matter.
exactly what you mean. Well, my dear, should you ever change your mind, rest assured accidents can always happen.
To be truly honest, if you did push him off a cliff, he'd just fly away. It doesn't matter.
Not if you break his wings. Well, anyway.
Jurnis' face will actually twist up at that.
Yeah.
She looks genuinely distressed with the implication of that.
This is not a nice person you are having a conversation with. Well.
Let's just say it relates to something.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, as I said, you are welcome to avail yourself of the facilities should you choose. I would prefer this happen sooner than later. The dredgers have a recruitment station in one of their facilities somewhere around. Let's just bring this up to the right layer. Around here. Makes a note on. He's got this large map of Grimscar with all these different pins and everything, and he highlights this particular section for you. Yeah, nice little restaurant. Just have a. Let's see. I don't think Nadine herself would be there, but and the DM is going to look up a name super fast. Just look up Fendrel. Ask for Fendrel, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. Now, anything else for you, my friends?
No, I believe that's all we need to discuss.
Good, good.
He gave us a description of the person he wanted us to
eliminate,
yeah.
He would, yeah. Fendrel, the way he describes, is basically a regular goblin, slightly balding, fairly... Basically, he's one of the waiters that works at this small restaurant. Not the manager or anything, just like, one of like a head waiter or cashier or something.
Fair enough. I assume Graz has been basically hiding behind me this entire time.
Yeah, you can give me a basic perception check.
I'm pretty sure she's still not cool with the skin breakers.
Yeah. You haven't really thought to be honest, with the situation being what it is and him being right in front of you, you kind of have forgotten about her. But he does kind of, look to your side and you're like, oh shit, Graz is here. And he gives her a very toothy smile. Of course, it's always nice to have a returning professional. I'm glad you came back to the fold, my dear. We do appreciate your skill. Genuine pleasure, boss. Quite. Well, I don't want to hold you any longer. Unless there's anything else I can do for you. Gives a very big grin to you, Jurnis.
Perhaps another time, Matthias.
I look forward to it. You are a singer, or is that just a clever name?
I do dabble in performances occasionally.
It's been a while since we had a decent variety act. If you're looking to make some real money, now that poor Icrius is no longer with us, I don't know how long her little bard's college has got. I would always be happy to provide you with some work.
I shall keep that in mind.
Please do. Well then. He stands and extends his arms. Go forth, be well, tell no one. And as tempted as I am, don't do anything unless you know for sure she's involved. If she is involved, end her. If not, just report back what you find to me, okay? Okay.
Of course, Matthias.
Duly
Very good.
noted.
Now get out. And I assume you leave?
Yep.
Yep. We take the hint.
Okay.
What's it like being stuck under so many thumbs, guys? Especially you, Jurnis.
Jurnis has not seen the sky in a long time.
Some of us value our freedom.
So, you head your way outside of the back room of the casino. Head your way back through the front and out into the general air of Grimscar itself. Arcanist, have you been hanging around this whole time?
Yeah. She's kind of scooted off to one side where basically just to keep out of the way.
Yeah. There we go. Change that music again. Oops. Okay. So, Jurnis, Ang, Graz, and Skullface, is there anything you wish to discuss with each other? Anything you wish to pick up before you head up to the Silver Shield?
Have we just become hired killers? Is this what we are now?
Technically speaking, we're more hired investigators right now.
Nah, Wex, it's fine. She Graz turns to look at you, Jurnis. Yeah, we hard killers.
Yeah.
Oh, goody.
I love
Takes a
Brad.
swig from
She's
her
the voice
flask.
of reason.
Yeah, basically.
We're going
Just-
first off to check if this individual has been shifting the explosives up to the city. And if that is the case, technically speaking, we'd be acting in the city's interests to eliminate them.
That is true, yes. Very well. The question is, do we attempt to sell this to our other two companions to aid us in this, or do we keep them in the dark? I get the feeling that if we spin this just correctly, Icrius will charge in for justice and all that malarkey. Chemise, I'm not so sure.
I'll be honest, I don't have a good read on that one. I mean,
Neither do I.
she acts like a noble lady, but she talks about, I don't know, she just feels familiar somehow. It's like I've seen her type before.
Well, if we can help. We're going to a mining operation, and didn't Chemise say something about mining?
Yes, she
Yes,
said
she wants to
hated it.
go.
Well, you know how we got into the Forbrider mansion?
By offering to buy their tapestries?
Same premise, different idea. I
Well,
happen
he did mention that they round up the local miscreants to make them do the work in the mine. We could say we found a qualified miner to quote-unquote
Mhm.
sell.
Plus, don't forget, explosives are used in mining.
That
If
is
they
true.
happen to have a explosives expert suddenly show up offering his assistance, we might be able to get a better beat on if they did sell those explosives up to the surface.
Hmm. Well, you have your explosives. We would have Chemise being a quote-unquote experienced mine hand. Ang, I assume you can look the part of honest labour.
Well, with these muscles, I'm sure I can accomplish that.
You know, to be fair though, Red, he did say that if we weren't going to go down the road of, yeah, we're just normal miner type people, he was going on about the kobolds. I mean, Wex, you live here, you know, like, us and them kind of have a bit of a thing going on. I mean, if kobolds are causing problems in the mines, it makes sense that they want to hire people to, you know, them.
Is that
That is also a fair point, and that would give us access to the mines. What better way to hide explosives than in a mine?
exactly? But we could always go for a twofer. We just happen to be
I'm sorry, did you say a
Ah.
tuba? What's
no,
that got to do with it?
No, a twofer.
You know,
Or
2 for 1.
For one.
She gives
we
Jurnis a wink.
can present ourselves as
How did you make that sound like an innuendo, Graz?
That's supposed to be one. I'm sorry, Wex. You go on.
as I was saying, if I can present myself again as the explosives expert, we have Miss Chemise bring up that she has experience with mining, and the fact that we're all able to deal with any potential troublemakers might get us hide a little quicker.
Jolly little mercenary band looking for work.
Who
Seems
just
to work.
happen to have, who just happen to have a little bit of expertise related to the subject.
But the matter at hand still concerns. How would we convince Miss Chemise to assist us? She seems very focused on getting down into the Actually, there's a point. The mine could have some archaeological finds.
Exactly. Plus, if we're going into the wilds anyway, she wants to get in the wilds.
Fair
Might
point.
as well find a way to get us some access.
Skullface, give me a intelligence, or either intelligence or history, whichever one is the highest.
Technically speaking, they're the same thing, but I will go
Yeah.
with the history.
Okay. With a 17, yeah. You would know that mining in this city is pretty much illegal. Anything to do with digging underground anywhere around the city is flat out illegal because of, well, you're standing in it, the sinkhole. And the fact that your associate wants to go underground, the reason that the wilds was suggested is because there are several natural fissures which lead deeper into the ruins underground. However, if Natrix and the dredgers are mining, it stands to reason that there may actually be a very good chance of finding one of those caverns, those fissures, through their mine. In fact, with a 17, I would say, You're not exactly sure what it is she's mining for. Just that they're looking for workers.
Right, well, Skullface kind of passes on that information.
Well, that would probably rope in Chemise. The dog will probably follow us anyway. It's an adorable little thing. By the way, Icrius has named it Tiberius. I don't know if it's answering to it yet, but we'll see. And, yes, Icrius being the good little paladin that he is, if we're telling him we're looking for the perpetrators of that horrible atrocity and who besmirched his faith's, she does air quotes, good name, he'll probably assist us.
Here you go, Wex. Grass hands you a whiskey flask.
It's all right.
Oh, dude, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, we're just glad to have you here.
Rex nods and goes, plus, if the mines are technically illegal, I can always say I'm temporarily deputizing him to help the wardens investigate.
See, Red, you can spin
Sure.
anything if you try hard enough.
Darling, I am the queen of spin.
I'm aware of that. Gives you a very big smile.
I will say this as they're walking, Icon is following them again.
Yeah. Give us a. I would say give us just for the sake of it, as the camera's panning back, and we watch them head towards the Silver Shield. Give us a basic stealth check.
Okay, stealth.
Which you've been rolling. Yeah, you've been rolling high. Yeah. No. So, as the light starts to dim a little. The streets start to get a little bit dimmer. You wind your way through the various wooden gantries, gangplanks, and everything of like this weird mashup of like a waterless Venice and a trash pile, dead wood. We see a wolf following the party, tail wagging. And that, I think, is where we will leave it for now. So, first of all, Sephi, bless your heart for joining us. We have missed you. So
missed
sorry
you
you're
so
still feeling
much.
a bit rough.
It's all right.
2020 can.
Yeah, 2020 can. It can just.
Yeah, it can just. Yeah, we've missed you, my friend.
Definitely.
I've just been here, so
Yeah. So, there is comment. Actually, the DM has a comment. Hopefully now the party will actually be together and we're not going to have everybody split.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
nice.
It would be nice.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
all I will
Okay.
say is someone in the middle of the night is going to be greeted by that picture of Icrius from the other
Ooh.
night.
Interesting.
Looking forward to that. That's going to be interesting.
I'm scaroused.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
When you said the picture, I was thinking of the "I'm chillin' dog" in the player chat.
Nope. The scary, scary barbarian lady.
In the do you know which one of us?
I don't
Seth?
know yet. I do not know yet.
I know who my vote is, but I'm gonna wait until next week. I'm gonna whisper that to Sephi. So, theories, questions.
Jurnis is so fucked.
Yeah, you guys are. You keep. How deep in criminal bullshit is this party?
Yeah, jeez.
Jurnis just wants to make
Really
people
deep.
happy with her music.
I love how it's pretty much obvious Matthias just really wants to keep you guys under his thumb, especially you, Jurnis.
To be
Mhm.
Like,
fair,
yeah, of
geez
course. Why
Louise.
wouldn't you want to work with him as a singer? It's not so he can keep an eye on you or anything.
No,
to be
geez.
fair, Wex. To be fair, this has been Wex's life for most of his life. So
I
How
have
things
theories
work.
about now that the explosives connection is there. I'm wondering how true that is.
Mm.
That's what I want to know.
Here's a question. In the little bit of downtime we had, did Jurnis get a chance to get to his shop to buy that little box she was looking for?
That is a fair point, well made. So let me think. We basically you guys woke up at the tavern. You kind of headed straight to the hospital, and then you were dragged all the way over to another town. I would say you can buy it in Grimscar if you wish. There are places to buy things here.
Fair enough. Then I will do that.
Yeah.
I will do that in the walk back towards the pub.
Yeah.
So I'm basically going to buy myself a lead-lined box.
Mm-hmm. And what are you putting in this lead-lined box?
The sign orb. Because Jurnis
Oh.
knows enough about magic to know that that shit can't go through lead.
Mm. Or so she thinks.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Jurnis knows.
Yes, fair enough. That actually works.
Because even with that little box and someone cast detect magic, it wouldn't be detected.
Ah, okay, that's good to know.
The detect magic spell will not go through a foot of stone or an inch of lead.
Okay. So, any other theories as to the situation? Hey, Chemise, you might
Yes.
be going underground. Going
Yes.
underground.
And I'd also like to point out that I was very happy that someone caught the whole, she says she's a noble lady, but also that she grew up in a mines. Almost as if that's a contradiction. Or something to question.
Graz doesn't say much, but she has been paying attention to a lot of things.
Yeah, and that was I was clapping secretly when that was happening. I was like, "Oh, somebody noticed that." Very much you noticed that, did you? And I was like, "Yay!"
Speaking of noticing things, I'm glad that you noticed that Icrius kind of slipped when Chemise was asking him personal questions about his hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
I will confess that was actually a slip at the time, and I was beating myself up about it afterwards, but then I figured, no, that would happen, because she asked him a personal question that no one else has really asked him. So
yeah, I thought that was cool.
Took him right off guard.
Curtsy. Curtsy.
I will say this as well. I kind of overloaded the hospital with basically every major NPC from every major faction. And it's like, depending on where you had gone and who else you would have talked to, there would have been so much information. So many little twists, little parts of the pie. But I figured Matthias was probably the best way of getting you on the just on the right track. So
I hear the king has a new advisor.
Yeah.
I would like to say, in case anyone's wondering, how a paladin is getting away with freaking drinking a whole bottle of whiskey.
Oh yeah.
The idea I have is that the Abstepsis are they're pretty much a Puritan religion. So they're pretty much like, no smoking, no gambling, none of this, none of that. But I'd like to think they make a choice exception for stuff like alcohol, because alcohol is a great fuel for fire, and they're all about that.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, how many kings and royals and nobles in the game are paladins?
And not only that, but sometimes the fire within must be stoked as well.
That's it. See,
Exactly.
D gets it.
Being a paladin doesn't necessarily mean being T2.
teetotal.
Yeah, I know, but the Absepsis are pretty Puritan.
Yeah,
At least from Dennis's description.
yeah, basically.
They're pure, but they're alive.
True that.
Yeah. But
We're
Basically,
all
is,
alive
pure.
here.
is whiskey not also known as firewater?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Mm.
That's why I went with it. And yeah, believe me, he needed that whiskey.
Oh, we could
Because yeah,
tell.
it's fun being dragged around everywhere and being excluded.
almost
Yeah.
as if Chemise was like, "Okay, now that you've had a little alcohol, tell me things."
Yeah. You could probably get away with that now, much more easily. Because basically, Icrius is like, I'm fed up of being treated like a black sheep. I'm going to get some alcohol, and we are going to talk like people.
Yes.
Well, now hopefully, like I say, the next session you'll all be able to interact with each other in one coherent group,
Yes.
and it won't be a us versus them thing this time.
That'd be nice.
Fingers
Yeah, I can't
crossed.
wait.
D&D, a game where we can all share it with each other and also keep everybody locked away in different sections, like not trusting anyone. Welcome to Voarcel.
Well, I was just really happy you guys found a way to get Chemise involved, and may I say, as a player, thank you for that, y'all. The whole
No.
mining connection is going to be yes,
Yeah.
because
I
she knows
will
a
say-
lot about mining.
A lot of this is actually in the book. A lot of this is actually in the thing that I wrote 3 years ago, but I was going over some notes and everything, and it's just my brain made a couple of connections, and I was like, oh yeah, of course, that solves so many problems. So, because otherwise you guys kind of would have been floating blind a little bit. So, anyway, with that all having been said, we'll go down the list. First of all, that's going to be a good night from the dog, Aja.
Night.
Woof.
Well,
There we go.
Woof.
That is going to be a good night from the not problematic at all Paladin, Sir Icrius.
Good night, everyone.
It's going to be a good night from the Kenku who can, Cream.
Okay.
A good night from D and the Lady Chemise, the salt farmer.
Wear a mask, wash your hands, be kind, and don't worry.
A good night from Icy, the Kung Fu Kitty. That was the tagline. I remember that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
A good night from Miss Jurnis Springsinger, who is, as ever, getting some uncomfortable attention. Oof.
Jars is just doing that thing from Archer where she's holding up her finger and just downing the drink.
Yep. And last but very not least, a good night and a welcome return to our good friend Sephi and his menagerie of never-ending characters.
To quote the prince, I'm bitches.
Your bitches indeed, yes.
Good night, everybody.
Night, night.
Good night.
Good night.